So it's really important to analyze any business and analyze the cash flow with certain metrics. What key factors are you looking for when you were looking at this laundromat to purchase, and how do you analyze the profitability before you make an offer? Welcome back to the Wealth Eazy Show, where we talk all things wealth, health, and real estate. Today, we're going to get into side hustles, which, in my book, I talk about passive income. My guest today started her entrepreneurial journey at just 17 years of age in the fashion industry. Today, she's a busy realtor selling multifamily residential commercial properties, and she's got a side hustle creating passive income, which we are going to get into later in the show. Please welcome to the show, Cheryl Leon. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So 17 years old,
Yes.
Fashion. That's pretty what were you, a fashion model? Did you get into designing clothes? What did you do at 17 in the fashion industry?
Well, it actually started very, very young. I was in grade 4. It was 1994, and our teacher asked us what we wanted to be when we were older. And I had an overall vision of being a successful business person. Business was the main focus. And then it sort of evolved to what am I interested in, what business? So as I grew up, my mom was in leather handbags and restoration. So she would design leather jackets and handbags. And my father was in furniture. So he would design and manufacture and wholesale furniture. So there was sort of design elements from both sides of the family, and I was more into fashion. So there was always an artistic side to the business. And fashion was sort of my main interest at that time, so I wanted to dive into it.
Were you designing clothes?
I was designing and marketing.
Okay.
And I did end up getting into modeling. My older sister was a model, but my first gig was actually sales and fit model for a knit company. So I was young. I was 17, but I was modeling clothes that were made for seniors, essentially. So it was kind of like a mix, but yeah, I did trade shows the business side of fashion is totally different than the glitz and glam that you see in magazines.
It's a very competitive industry.
It is, yes.
And you got out of it for what reason?
The fantasy bubble burst.
Okay.
Yeah, it takes the creativity. You can't really capitalize on creativity, and luxury, especially when you're starting. You sort of have to go bottom line focus. So fast fashion was just starting to take off, and we were just knocking off expensive high-end stuff that had the design element, but we were manufacturing it in China and then just giving the retailer the profit there. So it was just working the design down to the bare minimum in quality to give the retailer the benefit of being able to profit.
Did you have your own line?
I did.
Okay. And what were you designing, like jeans, or was it kind of where?
Luxury evening gowns and bridal wear.
Okay. All right.
But I was also a buyer, so I worked all different areas of fashion. And it was when I became a buyer for YM Inc. They were like Stitches, Sirens, Susie Shear.
Yeah, I remember them.
Yeah, I was a buyer for them. And then working as a buyer for them just really turned me off of fashion.
Really?
We would just go buy the top selling item from Aritzia, send it to a factory in China, say we need this for $1, retail it for $15.
Wow.
And yeah, they treat you I don't know if the company still exists, but basically I would have made more money per hour if I worked at McDonald's, and I would have had like better benefits.
I heard that about like companies
It's
like Stitches
horrible.
and stuff.
They really take advantage of young fashion grads. It is competitive, and you get excited working in the business because it isn't flipping burgers. But at the end of the day,
now, did you go to school for fashion?
I did. I went to school for fashion.
Okay.
Yeah.
I look at the industry today and thinking, like, some of these designs, I'm thinking, like, what has gone through some of these people's heads? Like, obviously, I think when you see people walking out, like I can't remember some of the designers, but I believe that it's not to go into full production. It's probably more just to show your artistic creativity design to people. Or do you think some of these crazy out there designs are actually going to go into like a full production?
It's hard to say today because there's different areas of fashion. So haute couture, some of those stuff is literally just for the runway, for
Okay.
entertainment,
Okay.
something that's going to make it in a magazine.
Right.
You'll see that with actual designers. They'll have 3 different labels. They'll have their high-end couture line, ready to wear. Ready to wear is just everyday stuff. And then like sometimes they do a low end. But usually there's 3 different lines. Each designer will have a different take on couture art. That's where they expose their real creativity. And yeah, it's probably not going to make it to mass production, but it's for the media.
I watched a video on Hermes and a bag and what they sell a bag for and what it actually costs to make. It blew my mind. Like they're saying one guy was going through just the outside leather, what it costs the outside leather, and then the studs on it, and then the inside leather, and then like a zipper and this and that. I think it totaled up to just a couple of $100. And they're selling this thing for $30,000.
30,000, yeah.
It's unbelievable the amount of profit that these guys are, but they have a really good marketing program. I mean, scarcity.
Did you hear the designer talk about how long it takes for them to make a bag? So they're all made to order, or they have a set number that they do. And he says it takes them months. Also, leather craftsmanship is very specialized.
Yeah.
And if you're not rushing the manufacturing, it sounds to me like he runs a really tight ship. He has a really set standard on the quality of the bag. But yes, supply, demand, scarcity, and he has the brand recognition. I don't know how long it took him to develop that brand, but it's there. It's there. So yeah, it is nice to see that people do appreciate taking time and making something like very exclusive and luxurious. And there's obviously enough buyers for it. They're still around. There's collectors of Hermes.
You have to be like on a waiting list.
You have to be on a wait. Yeah,
and get approved.
They don't. Yeah.
You gotta get approved. It's like going for credit. You gotta be approved to get an Hermes bag.
It's just like Ferrari. You have to get on a wait list for Ferrari.
That's crazy.
You have to get on a wait list for Lambo.
So then you get into real estate. When did you get into real estate?
So this is a funny story. When I went to college for fashion, I needed a part-time job. And I moved a bunch of times in college. I wasn't happy with where, I didn't know London, Ontario. I just moved there, so I had to move around. But I remember looking at different places with the real estate agent, and I asked her, I'm like, how long have you been doing this? And she says, I've been doing it for 10 years. She's like, it was very easy. It took me 6 months to get my license. She said, you should get your license. I need help with leases. So I remember just talking to my dad about it, and he gave me the worst advice ever. He said, Cheryl, anyone can be a real estate agent. That's something you do when all of your passions in life that you pursued fail. He's like, you save that for the last. He told me not to. So I was like, okay, I'll just focus on my fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. But fast forward, when the fashion bubble popped, my fantasy of the fashion industry, it wasn't for me. I was so confused. I didn't know what I wanted to do because, like I said, from 94 to college, I had my plan. And I was depressed for like weeks. I didn't know what I wanted to do next. And I literally woke up from sleep and said, real estate. And then I called my dad. He's like, brilliant. It's perfect for you. And at the time I happened to be dating someone that was like from a big developer family. And I said, the potential is limitless now. I have the right network to be successful, and I have the support now, which is really all I needed.
And you focus now you do a lot of multifamily and commercial properties?
Yeah, I moved from residential, and then within the last 2 years, I sort of moved into multifamily and commercial. And that was because residential, I wasn't transacting much, but I still want to leverage my real estate knowledge and platform. I wanted to create more income. So I wanted to figure out how am I going to make money from real estate myself, which sort of got me to look into multifamily. And I love the BRRRR strategy. especially for multifamily. And you see all of these old owners that are now getting to the age where they're ready to unload their assets. There's a lot of estate sales with apartment buildings coming to market. And
For anyone who doesn't understand the BRRRR strategy, it's buy, rehab, refinance, repeat, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And you can turn over the units in some markets.
Yeah.
Toronto, it's a lot harder because it's almost impossible to get your tenants out.
That's the problem we have here.
Yeah. Yeah. And what are you going to do? Like, these people are paying $800 a month for a 1-bedroom apartment. If you give them, what, 20 grand, or even if you offer them cash for keys, it's equivalent to like 1 year in rent differential to market rents, you know?
Hey everyone, it's John. I just wanted to thank you for being here, and I would ask that you please subscribe to the show by just clicking the subscribe button right here. I'd really appreciate it. It helps grow the show so we can get even more successful guests on the program to help you. If you're already subscribed, a huge thank you. When you subscribe, you're going to get access to the program before anybody else does. So if you would, just click subscribe right here. Thanks so much, and welcome back to the Wealth Eazy show. And now the new law is, if you are going to rehab your apartment or your home,
You have to offer them.
You have to offer them, but you have to give it back to them
Yes, at the same price.
at the same price. So you can only ask them to leave for a little bit and then put them back in there. So, I have a real problem with the Landlord-Tenant Act here. It protects tenants, not landlords, where I like Alberta, where there is no rent control. You don't pay your rent 60 days, you're out. I can bump that price up to, I can double it if it's below market rents. I can raise the rent to market rent.
I looked into the Alberta market when I have done so many CMAs and deal analysis on multifamily in the last couple of years, and we dug into Alberta a couple of years ago, right before it really took off. It would have been the perfect time to buy. But when I went there, I was a little bit scared because there are no rent control problems there. So there isn't the opportunity that you find, because we're buying on cap rates. So when you buy at, say, a 4 cap rate in Toronto, it's different than buying a cap rate in Alberta, because the cap rate is based on market rent. And market rent in Alberta it's growing, but market rents in Toronto are sort of flat. So there's more room on the flip side to raise those rents and achieve more profitability than buying something that's already rented out at market rent.
I think this federal election is going to be a big swing if Pierre Poilievre wins. I would start looking at Alberta real estate, because his intention is to open up that pipeline. And
Fort Mac would be...
And now all these jobs are going to come back to Alberta.
Fort Mac.
Yeah.
It's like, it's
going to be huge.
Ghost town right now.
And Trump wants to drill and get that Keystone pipeline going.
Yes.
Yeah. So when you are looking at multifamily for clients, one of the things I talk about in my book, Wealth Without Wall Street, is purchasing assets that create cash flow. What type of your clients are you finding that are asking to either buy commercial or multifamily, that they're looking to use this as an investment to provide them cash flow? Are you seeing a lot more people looking at commercial or multifamily?
There's been a big swing for cash flow to commercial plazas. I find plazas are more desirable asset to hold in Ontario, especially because of the Tenant Act.
Well, 14 days, you can put chains on the door.
If you are looking for cash flow, it's better to go towards commercial. However, there are people that prefer multifamily because it's familiar, but it's not typically a cash flow positive situation. You sort of have to bank on property appreciation. But if cap rates are going up, properties aren't getting appraised at what they used to be. A lot of investors aren't reinvesting in Canada. They're looking over the border, mostly because of political issues. So I think for the more cash flow positive and the more desirable asset, it's definitely commercial plazas right now.
And the other problem you have too, I mean, if you're looking, say, you just want to get started into the multifamily and you're looking at, something with 12 units or 24 units, the issue that you're going to have if you're using the rents to cover mortgage payments, if you get several of those people that just decide, I'm not going to pay rent,
It's cash flow negative.
it's a problem.
You have to bank on the property appreciation. You have to have a big net. You can't just be flipping apartment buildings and thinking you're netting, especially in GTA, like even Hamilton. If you can break even, you're lucky. Most deals that I analyze, if you break even, you're lucky. I would probably buy a break even multifamily property if I could find one. It's really hard to even find one.
I think what's going to drive the multifamily is Pierre Poilievre is talking about bringing in something in Canada very similar to the U.S., where the 1031 exchange. That's huge. Like that'll
keep investment money here.
Well, not only that, what you're going to get is you're going to get the guy who, just dabbled into buying his first multi-family building with 12 or 24 units. And now the thing's appreciated, but he can't cash out because of the capital gains. Well, now he's thinking, hey, I can sell this thing, take all my profit, and I can go buy that 96-plex. I can now step up, open up the market for some other guy looking to come in. So I love the 1031.
All investors should.
Yeah.
All investors should. The only way to bypass the capital gains regulation was actually to just refi. So refi your existing property, you can't sell it.
Yeah.
But you only get like a 75% LTV,
We got to
which
qualify.
might not get you the second property. But that was the hack, right?
Yeah.
You didn't have to sell it. But now if you can go to a totally different market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely going to help I think it's going to really boost both industrial,
It's so good for investment, yeah.
Absolutely. And I think it should have been done a long time ago.
It's going to keep money here because everyone wants to flee. Like,
of course.
I'm sorry, if Mark Carney, is his name Mark Carney?
Mark Carney.
If he gets reelected, so many investment dollars are leaving. Like, people are leaving. Like, the people you want to stay here, the people that are actually paying the majority of the taxes for all of these liberal promises are going to leave. Like, they're not staying here.
Yeah. One of the things we like to talk on the show is wealth and health. And I'm a big believer that health is the foundation to create sustaining wealth. And I know you're big on living a healthy lifestyle. I know you're into yoga and you're very fit. What type of fitness routine or health routine do you follow to keep your mind sharp?
Well, it all started when my mind wasn't sharp. So I didn't have healthy habits. And I didn't have like a positive body image. And it just got to the point where the pain of staying the same was less than the pain of getting to where I wanted to go with the workouts and the like the strict dietary like restrictions I had to put on myself. Like, you have to really want to. The number one thing for me was intermittent fasting. That really targets the psychological part of your food cravings and your self-discipline. And once you master the mind, then you can master the body. So the first line of defense to protect your health is to have control of your mind. And intermittent fasting is more psychological than a physical challenge, and definitely like a good first stepping stone if you really want to start making life changes. And the self-discipline translates into your professional life, into, the keeping yourself on a set schedule, and tasks, and all that stuff that you have to do to be successful in business.
How often do you do intermittent fasting? Do you do it? Is it several times a week, or you do it every day?
The first time I tried it, I set it for 2 weeks. I did 2 weeks. And the 2 weeks made such a big difference that I didn't even have the cravings that I originally had. So it literally became a lifestyle after 14 days.
Okay.
It was very simple. The first week was so challenging. I mean, every day was challenging, but I was just like, if I get it through today, just one more day, one more day, one more day. And before you know it, it's 2 weeks. And I was literally where I wanted to be. I skipped breakfast.
Were you 16 and 8? Did you do 16 and 8 or 18-6?
What's that?
Well,
Hours?
Hours.
I ate at 12. If I woke up really early, I would eat at 12. If I woke up at like 8 or 9, I would eat at 1. So I had lunch at 1, no snacks, dinner at 6, no food after 6. I don't know what that is, but 1 and 6 are my.
I had Dr.
times.
Janine on. Do you know Dr. Janine?
No.
Dr. Janine Bowering. She's actually a personal friend. She has the Dr. Janine show, and her and her husband, they own a company called VitaTree.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a naturopath. And when I was telling her I was doing intermittent fasting, and the one thing she said, she goes, when do you do your fasting? And I said, I'll do it in the morning. My last meal will be 6 o'clock, and then I won't eat till either 10. Sometimes I'll do like a 18 and 6. I'll eat at noon, and then I'll eat my meals in between 12 and 6. You know, she goes, you're doing it all wrong. She says, intermittent fasting is great, but you're doing it at the wrong times.
Ooh.
She said, you need to have your breakfast. You need to get your Liptons right. It's important to have the breakfast. If you're going to fast, then what you should be doing is you should have your last meal at 3 o'clock. If you're going to do like a 16-hour fast and you're getting,
I don't know if I'd be able to do it that way.
You know what? Because I love dinner. All right, you want to go for dinner, but she says if you really want to do intermittent fasting the correct way,
Wow.
you need to have the breakfast. You got to set. It's something with having that first meal. They call it the most important meal of the day. And she goes, there's a reason why they call it the most important meal. I think for us, because it's actually really easy because we get up, you know, we've been fasting all night. It's not a big deal. We get a cup of coffee. I'm up at 4:30. So I get up at 4:30. And actually now the first thing that I do, and I'm going to get, this leads into the next question, is I go downstairs and I get 2 scoops of whey protein, and I put a little water and mix it, and I consume 50 grams of protein the moment I wake up.
Wow.
And that's leads into my next question. When it comes to biohacking, I learned this from Gary Brecka. Do you know who Gary Brecka is?
No.
If you're into health, you need to follow Gary Brecka.
Okay.
He's a biohacker. Yeah. He's actually in a lawsuit right now with Grant Cardone.
Oh, wow. With Grant Cardone?
Yeah, because he actually saved Grant's life.
No way.
He helped him health-wise.
Okay.
Yes. He saved Dana White from UFC. He saved his life. Steve Harvey says, this guy saved my life because of blood work, because Gary Brecka was in the life insurance industry for 25 years. He's seen every blood sample come through by him.
Yeah.
He got to a point where he never went to medical school. He understands biology, but it got to a point by analyzing blood, he could pretty much tell you the day, the month, and the year that you're going to die.
Wow.
Based on your blood samples and lifestyle. He's amazing. And so Gary says you need to consume at least 30 grams of protein within 30 minutes of waking.
Wow.
And I'm going to tell you something. I was a competitive bodybuilder growing up. So my 20s up into my 30s, I used to compete. Wow. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm 54. And I still follow a very good routine. And I noticed that since I got up and started consuming my protein first thing in the morning within 30 minutes, because remember, your body's been fasting. So what's your body looking for? The moment you put protein in, it absorbs it. Your muscles absorb it. And the one thing that I do is like an hour before I go to bed, I take casein protein. So casein protein is a very slow release. So while you're sleeping, it slowly releases the amino acids into your starving muscles while you sleep. Ooh. I've noticed a massive change in my body. I've noticed more muscle mass, more density on my body just by doing those 2 things. Because I'll get up at 4:30, have a cup of coffee, and I'll work. I'll do my meditation. I'll do some work. And then by 6 o'clock, I'm drinking my pre-workout. By 6:30, I'm down on the treadmill for 45 minutes. And I don't eat until 7:30 because my wife gets up at 7. She makes us breakfast and I have my meal. But I've already been up for 3 hours. I've done my cardio. I've had a pre-workout, but I've had no protein. So now I do my protein at 4:30 in the morning. but I don't put nothing in it because I don't want to.
Just water and
I
protein.
don't water and protein, and it's amazing. And have you heard of PB peanut? You know the peanut butter powder?
Yeah.
I put a little scoop of the peanut butter powder in, just give it some flavor, some vanilla, and it's like a meal.
Yeah.
And it's so good and absorbs. And then by the time I have breakfast with my wife, it's been 3 hours. It's great.
Yeah, that's brilliant.
So going into my next question, for people who are now biohacking is becoming a really popular thing for peak performance. And you haven't done any biohacking. If you talk to any of your clients or anyone that's doing any type of that stuff, or looking at certain type of vitamins and doing blood work for peak performance?
My dad is really into it. He gives me a lot of tips. I'm not consistent enough with all that stuff, but I do like the idea of, I've been trying, but like I said, I'm not consistent. Creatine, I really want to start incorporating creatine. And
it just holds water.
They say it's good for your brain.
Yeah, I heard.
Like
I heard that too.
And it helps. It's like 20 to 30% increase in cognitive function and memory.
I've been doing lion's mane for that.
Oh yeah,
lion's mane first thing in the morning. Ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is really good to help calm you, especially when you sleep. So I'll take one in the morning, then one before I go to bed. But lion's mane is actually really good for brain.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I
I've been
think
doing
my
that.
dad. What does he make me take? Vitamin K.
K2 is good.
And D3.
Yes.
Those are his big ones.
For sure.
Yeah.
But you should start watching some Gary Brecka videos. He's got a podcast, mind blowing. He does this thing. He's got this thing where he'll, you don't have to go through him. He's a little bit expensive, but he'll analyze your blood work and tell you all the different, I can't remember. My wife knows all this stuff. There's certain markers. There's certain markers that everybody has that they're going to be predisposed to certain diseases. And if you do your blood work, and he'll tell you what those markers are and which vitamins to take to avoid these diseases. So he's a little expensive, but then the other thing too is this is where Grant Cardone got involved. It's like, well, let's sell them the vitamins too. So I kind of don't like the guy that's analyzing you, then telling you need this and this and this. So what we did, there's another company, I can find it for you. This guy does the exact same thing. He's about half the cost, and all he does is he identifies your markers. He lists out the vitamins that you should be taking, but it's not from him. He's like, go find it anywhere you want. I'm not selling you the vitamins. So I don't feel like I'm being pushed or scammed into buying something that I don't have to, because I don't feel there's a conflict of interest there. But I highly recommend in doing this blood work and finding out the certain markers, because there's one marker I can't remember. That's why I'm taking lion's mane. There's one marker that is like 85% of the population have, and there's a certain vitamin, because there's methylated. That's what methylated is, the vitamins. So if you have this marker and you said you take your vitamins, if you have this marker, your body's not fully getting the full absorption, because you need a methylated vitamin.
Oh, wow.
So having a methylated is just a different process. Your body can't process certain things. So you're taking this vitamin, but your body's not really benefiting from it, because with this marker, you need a methylated vitamin.
It's like a carrier.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can get it. It's fantastic. I think it's only like $300 or something. I think Gary Brecka charges like $600 US. This guy was like $300, I believe it was. But he sends you your whole report. And then he just tells you what vitamins that you need in your markers. And then you can just find it wherever you go shopping, where you get your vitamins from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really good.
How much do you spend a month on vitamins?
Oh God, I just pay the credit card bill. Honestly, it gets this crazy because I see it. Nature's Emporium $300, Nature's Emporium $400. I'm like, oh my
spend a fortune.
God,
it's like groceries are expensive enough now.
It's crazy.
And then I did read a few articles. Some of them suggested that we should be getting the vitamins from natural sources, but then all of our food is naturally grown, and we're missing all sort of nutrients from our food because it's all GMO and everything. So I get confused. I don't know if I should be doing it or just trying to find it from natural sources. So I typically just try to maintain a healthy traditional diet.
Yeah, we eat really healthy. My wife is a former bikini competitor. She competed all throughout Italy, and when she came here, she was going to try and get her pro card.
Wow.
That didn't work
Did
out.
you guys train together? Did
We
you ever
did. I was going
compete
to,
together? Did
yeah,
you meet her at
I
a
was going to
competition?
compete. No, we were going to compete together. We're going back.
nice.
This is pre-pandemic, so I'm going back probably 2019 because she came in 2018 and she wanted to get a pro card. That was her passion. So she signed up with Hammer Fitness. Do you know Hammer? Hammer
Maybe.
Fitness. He trains. He trains a bunch of girls.
Yeah.
My wife's now with this guy named Kim Otto. Kim, his girls win the Olympia. Like the girl that just won the Arnold Classic.
Yeah.
Is trained by this guy Kim.
Okay.
The one who won the Miss Olympia, the girl who won Miss Olympia, is trained by Kim. So my wife now has him as her coach.
Wow.
And it's online.
So she still wants to compete.
No, not anymore.
Just wants to train
No,
well.
she just wants to stay fit.
Yeah.
And I hired Kim, but 2019.
Wow.
She wanted to get a pro card, and I thought, you know what? I haven't competed since I was 31 years old, and this is going back 6 years ago. I'm 47. I'm gonna go back and sure I'm gonna compete too. So I'm gonna diet with you, just so you have someone to diet with.
Yeah.
And we were probably about 6 weeks out from the show, and I was really starting to dial in.
Yeah.
And we had a meeting with her coach, and he said to her, "You will place top 3 in this upcoming show. You'll place top 3 for sure." But her goal was the very following week was to go into the regional pro qualifier. And he said to her, "You won't even get a look."
Wow.
In the pro qualifier.
It's so competitive now.
You got girls that are coming up from all over different countries,
Yeah.
and they're not natural.
Yeah.
And she was not going to take drugs.
Yeah.
She says, "You don't have a chance." I'm being honest with you. But you'll place in the regional show, you will place top 3.
Yeah.
She's like, "Fuck it.
Yeah. What's the point?
What's the point?" My whole goal was to place top 3, walk into the next show, try to get my pro card. And if she's like, if this guy's being honest and he knows, fuck it, I don't want to do this anymore, because she goes, "I'm not going to take drugs." We were going to try and have a kid. And she's like, "Forget it."
Yeah.
But back in Italy, no one, they're all natural. All the girls are natural. They don't take drugs there. So she was touring around and she was winning shows.
They should have 2 separate,
Natural. Yeah.
natty and not.
Right? Yeah. But then she gave up, and I'm like, well, fuck it. Let's go for a steak dinner. Let's go have sushi. It's great. Yeah, let's go for pizza, right?
out.
Yeah, so that ended that. But it was fun going back to, the dieting days, and
It's you have to be so disciplined. It's
hard.
100% focus. Like
It's
it
hard.
takes over your whole day, your whole mind. I thought about doing it. My sister wanted me to do it so bad, because I have I could build off my natural form. I barely have broken the barrier of my potential. But then I was like, no, it's a little too much. Plus I don't want to be too fit. I used to be self-conscious about it because it was a little too masculine, but I'm really happy with where I am right now. But yeah, I could imagine what it would be like to be even bigger and more muscular. I would scare the crap out of it.
I'm telling you, it's very stressful. When I used to compete, no one wanted to be around me. I was a complete asshole.
Yeah.
Because you're hungry.
And
You're
hungry,
constantly
lean.
hungry all the time. You don't want to go out. You can't go for a drink.
can't.
You can't go for dinner. People are inviting you out. And honestly, like, I would go out. I would bring my meals with me. And even if I was at like a club or something,
People hate you.
I leave. Where are you going? I gotta go. It's this time. I gotta go eat. I gotta go eat. Right? And like, fucking John, he's got to go eat in his car. I buy meals. I bring a big cooler everywhere I went. And you can't leave anywhere. I go for meetings. Like, I had meetings. I left this morning at 8:15. I had to be downtown for meetings. Normally, I would like spend my night preparing all my meals. The only thing I said to my wife this morning, "Babe, can you make me some lunch? I'm not going to have time to eat. I'll eat it on the road." So before I leave, she made me throw it in my bag.
You
But
have to eat every 2 hours?
I'm like every 2.5. I'm like even today, even at 54, like I still follow a really good routine. I'm in the gym 5 days a week. I'm doing my cardio 6 days a week. I don't drink. I don't smoke. I like my cigars, and we lead a healthy lifestyle. And like, I feel like I'm in my 30s. But listen, we get one body. It's got to last you a lifetime.
It does, yes.
Right?
Yeah,
So if you don't take care of it, it's not going to take care of you.
that's true.
That's why, listen, it doesn't matter. That's why I like to talk about wealth and health, because if you don't have the health and you have the wealth isn't going to last
Means
that long. It
nothing.
means nothing. I mean, let's go ask Steve Jobs. Like, unfortunately, the guy had cancer, but could he have taken care of himself before then? You know, you've got guys that, you know, that have all this money, but they're not taking care of the body. They drink like a fish. They smoke a pack a day. They eat out all the time, and their arteries are probably so clogged. And next thing you know, they drop off a heart attack, and they're 55 or 60. What does the wealth mean to you then? So that's why I really admire people that are entrepreneurial, and yet they still carve out time to take care of their health. Because I know you're big and you do yoga too, right?
I do yoga. I just started incorporating a lot of weight training. So I feel like weight training was a big change for me. I used to focus mostly on cardio. But yeah, the weight training is really important to have the muscle to protect your bones. And as we get older, we start to deteriorate. That's probably why you eat every 2.5 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so the weight training is really a game changer. And it makes my workouts a little bit more enjoyable. I can kind of slow down. It's not all about pushing myself to the bare minimum, you know?
And when do you incorporate yoga? How often are you doing yoga?
At least once or twice a week. I need it for like the gentle movements and the stretching. And
I was even thinking about getting into yoga because I heard it might help my golf game.
it will. Yeah, your range of motion and stretching.
Yeah.
It's a good spiritual practice too. It really is. Because we hold a lot of tension in our bodies and
Absolutely.
trauma in our bodies. So, and it gives you time. Most of the instructors help you connect with all of that stuff.
Okay.
So it's good for mental health and
Yeah.
spiritual practice and physical.
My wife got me into meditating now.
Yeah.
Every morning. Like 4:30, get up.
Just
Get my
yourself, do you do
protein.
guided.
Yeah, so there's a couple guys I listen to, like David Boyer or David Bayer. He's really good. He's got a good guide one. But I read a couple books. Like I read Jose Silva, Mind Control. I signed up for an app called Mind Valley by Lishan, what's his name? Lakiani, Vishen Lakiani. He was trained through the Jose Silva Mind Control. And he created this app called Mind Valley, which is amazing. It's got all these different meditations, and it's just all guided. I like to listen to something because then it teaches you to go into alpha. You get into your alpha state, and then I'm just listening to this, and
You like his voice?
I like his voice. They're playing soft music, very calming music in the background.
Yeah.
I tried the meditating like just by myself, and I fell asleep.
Yeah.
But I have to sit up in my office. But I look forward to it. And actually, my wife has really gotten into, like now she meditates twice a day, and she's found it so calming. And she says, I'm actually a bit even more calm. But I think if you have to vibrate to a higher frequency, if you want to get the things that you want,
You have to. Yeah.
you have to,
Yeah.
right? I think they wrote that book, The Secret,
Yeah.
and it was all about, it's going back to meditation and connecting with your higher self.
Yeah. And when you're working all day long and you have a family and you're constantly distracted, you're constantly doing things, things are building up that want your attention, but you aren't setting aside the time to focus and process. So we have all these little half thoughts, and it starts to build up over time. So to take the time to really connect with yourself and go over all of those things that you may have missed because you're so distracted, it's really important.
So I want to get into your side hustle because I talk about this in my book. It's really great that you have a source of income. And people complain all the time, I don't make enough money. Well, change your situation. Take a look at a side hustle. What can you do that's going to spin off passive income and not take too much of your energy away from your main source of income? One of those things I love is car washes, online digital courses, which I'm in the process of. I'm halfway finished writing my online digital course for finance. And the other one is laundromats. And you started a laundromat.
Yes.
So I want to talk about, why a laundromat? What got you excited and turned on about looking at a laundromat?
Have you watched any of Cody Sanchez?
Yes, I love
business
Cody.
searches. So
Yeah,
she's amazing.
She's a big believer in it.
Love her. Basically, it was looking for a side hustle, another business venture. Real estate really slowed down. I sold my condo a couple years ago, so I was sitting on a lot of equity, and I wanted to deploy it into a cash flowing business. And it, like I said, multifamily isn't that sexy for cash flow. And I just predict the market's going to come down a little bit. I don't want to deal with a negative cash flow situation and a declining market. So was looking for business, and yeah, the laundromat really stuck out to me. When we did market research, the numbers were showing an average of a 35 to 50% ROI.
Over how long? Like when in a year?
No, not likely in a year. Within like the 5 year.
Okay.
It's supposed to be a 35 to 50% ROI, and your break even is supposed to be in the first 4 years, which is one of my markers for a good business. Break even in 4 years, and then and be cash flowing obviously over 20%. So, and it seemed like a simple enough business, and just like you said, it seemed like something I could incorporate into my life. I don't have to lose focus on real estate. I still have my real estate, and I have a side hustle that might not take too much of my energy, but how much of it is it going to take? I don't know. And that's why you have to decide when you're going to buy a laundromat. Are you going to start from the ground up, or are you going to buy existing?
What did you do?
I bought existing, but I bought the bare bones. So when you see a laundromat that's at the end of its life, the equipment's over 20 years old. Equipment has a 25-year lifespan. So any equipment over 20 years old is most likely what you're going to see for sale on the market. So I buy the bare minimum. I'm basically buying pre-existing old equipment and hopefully some goodwill. Maybe they had a good relationship with their customers, or everybody knows and it's a regular spot. The problem with these cash businesses and the owners of the cash businesses is their finances aren't very organized, and a lot of them may not be very accurate. And the agent that's representing them is always like, well, it's a cash business, it's different. They send you like an Excel spreadsheet, not even a spreadsheet, just like, or a Microsoft Word document. It's like, we make net is $15,000 a month. Like,
Which is
unverifiable.
unverifiable.
Unverified. So you have to do a lot of detective work when you're looking into the businesses, when you're analyzing the financials. The most important part is the number of equipment, number of machines. And then you can verify through their electrical bill and their gas bill and their water bill. Yeah, you have to work it backwards to sort of gauge what their real income is. That's the toughest part of the deal analysis.
So you went into this place. Actually, I got a buddy of mine who has two of them. And he said he knows your place. Your place was called Spin City, right?
It is now, yeah.
It's Spin City.
It was called Dream Coin Laundry.
He looked at yours.
Yeah.
He passed on it
Yeah.
because he found something else. And what he'll do is he'll actually negotiate to take over the lease. Like, just give me all the equipment, because he likes to find stuff that maybe has already been locked up.
Yeah.
And now there's no one's paying rent, so he'll find.
You don't need to buy the business. You can just negotiate a new lease with the owner.
Yeah. So
I don't understand why people even that happened in our plaza. There was no months left on the commercial lease. I'm like, why are you buying their business? They're out of here. Just wait, and then you don't have to buy anything. The landlord owns all that stuff. The landlord could have screwed the seller over for me. He could have kicked him out. He was on month to month.
Yeah.
But the landlord, my landlord, he's just a good man. And he didn't want to screw his tenant over. He let him sell it. He could have made a lot more money just selling me the laundromat himself. I didn't have to go through the previous owner.
Did you buy the assets?
I did. Yeah, I bought the assets.
But then
I could have ran them for a few more years.
Did you replace the assets?
I replaced them all.
All new dishwasher or dryers and things, wash machines?
Yes. Half of them were broken. I didn't want to take over a business that just had dying equipment. The time involved in maintaining older equipment, it would have been a full-time job. It would not have been even remotely close to passive. If you're looking at laundromats for passive,
it's like trying to plug a leaky boat.
Go new.
It's like trying to plug a leaky boat.
Exactly.
Just don't spend your effort plugging it. Just get into a new boat.
Yes. And the previous owner, he was freaking out that I dumped all the equipment. I tried to sell it to a used equipment sales guy or like repair guy, And he said, it'll cost me more to transport the machines here than I'll make off the parts. So I just had to dump it.
Wow.
Yeah. But those, like the Websch, I think it's Websch, their doors are worth $500 each. If I could do it all over again, maybe I would have tried to list it, strip them, and try to sell the parts on Kijiji or something. But that's a whole other job. Like, I was not interested in putting the time into selling the parts. But we got the goodwill, and we are in the right location. It's definitely the right location for a laundromat.
So it's really important to analyze any business and analyze the cash flow with certain metrics. What key factors are you looking for when you were looking at this laundromat to purchase, and how do you analyze the profitability before you make an offer?
Rent. I feel like rent and wages can kill every business and any business. Your income should be 20% of your income should cover the rent. So you don't want like a rent that's going to exceed 20% of your revenue. But in Toronto, in the GTA, it's really hard to find that. So maybe it's a little bit more realistic to assume 30%, but you want to be between 20 and 30%.
Rent going to
Rent, yeah, your income
your income going to rent.
Going to rent.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's a huge one.
And then what do you got your water bill? Hydro. So, but how do you forecast? What are you using to analyze the profitability? Like you've got this place, you've got now to replace equipment. Did you pay cash or did you finance the equipment?
Personal loan to finance the equipment. I got a really good interest rate. I shopped around. We couldn't go to BDC without 2 years of operating income. As a new business, as a startup, they wouldn't give us an equipment loan. I think the interest rate was like 9%. We could have gone for equipment leasing. Some of the equipment suppliers, they have an in-house person or someone that they refer to you for leasing the equipment, and their interest rates are crazy. You're not going to be profitable. It was like 18% interest payment, interest only for the first however many months. So there's no incentive to break your lease agreement early, right? You're paying interest first. So it's a 4-year lease term, 18% interest. You would have been I would have been negative cash flow if I had done the equipment leasing. So the private loan for the equipment at a very generous interest rate. Hopefully our market's going to bring interest rates down, so it will be in a better opportunity for a second location or third location. If I can get interest below 7%, then I would do an equipment loan through like a big bank. Yeah, but below 6% would be ideal.
So now you've got a loan payment. What percentage of your income are you focused on toward that loan payment?
It's about 10%, 10% of income. It's a generous family loan.
Okay.
So I'm not like tied to it, but if I were to get a general typical loan, it was, what was it? Like, I think it was like $1,000 or $1,300 a month. When we get to the right operating capacity, which is about 15%, then it's nominal. It's like, around 10% of our income.
Now, are you staffing it?
Yeah, I have staff.
Like attendants? Are they doing like wash and fold for you?
Yes. I have 3 employees. I have a delivery guy and I have 2 wash and fold attendants and a cleaner just to step in case one of my staff is unable to attend. The type of employees that you attract to this business aren't entrepreneurs themselves typically, so you have to have a little bit of a buffer to offset, hopefully not bad customer service, but consistency in scheduling. There could be some issues with scheduling. A lot of them are taking public transportation in, so they might be running late at times. Or
how do you do your hiring? Like, what type of people are you looking for? Like, I'm assuming someone who's doing a wash and fold is probably, if I had to guess, someone's probably semi-retired or retired and maybe looking for a little bit of extra income. Do you have a full-time person doing wash and fold?
It really depends on where your laundromat is.
Okay.
We get a lot of interest from people that live locally. I've had a lot of people that would exchange working for free to do their laundry for free.
Oh, wow.
So I'm not looking I mean, I could probably tweak my hiring process a little bit, but the people that just happened to come to me for this job, one was experienced. She worked at a really nice laundromat in Hamilton called Lux Laundromat, and I looked it up. It's beautiful.
Mm.
It's high end. They did a nice setup. It's
Mm-hmm.
probably twice the size of mine. And they have a lot of, they sell other things like bedding and mattress covers and stuff like
wow.
that. So she was experienced.
Yeah.
And I liked that. And she's sweet. She is approachable. And then I have a sales guy. So this guy, I hired him actually originally to hand out flyers to local businesses to try to get us business to business wash and fold contracts, like with restaurants.
Okay.
They do aprons, napkins, towels for nail salons and hair salons. So he was personable enough. And I just hired him because I'm like, this guy probably can't fold laundry. He was handing out flyers. He's like, I want to work for you. And I know he's a salesman, and salespeople are really important for any business. It's like the one and only trait you really essentially need to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
And I gave him a chance, and I taught him how to fold the laundry, and he's my manager. He's my main employee. He picks up all the slack. He helps me out with everything. He voluntarily helps me out with everything, even marketing, hiring. I told him, he's like, can I have permission to to discipline, this employee? She didn't do a good job. I said, yes, you can. So he really wanted to step into the role, and I really appreciate it. And every time he's working, he sells clothes from our thrift shop. He's good with upselling. He sells detergents, sells laundry bags.
Are you looking for, when you're scouting a laundromat, are you looking for a laundromat that has, say, in an area with many, say, older apartments that maybe have very old used machines that maybe there aren't so many, that maybe some of the people in the building, instead of having to go wait, they, within a walking distance? Or are you looking for a laundromat just with an area with a lot of older homes? Because a lot of people have their own, dryer and washing machine. Mm-hmm. What makes you look at a location and go, this is a great spot?
Those are two important factors. Now that I've been operating for so long, I can see that our baseline income is from the rental buildings. It's from the people that are close by in older apartment buildings. I'm on here, Ontario and Dundas. So we're in a very highly densely populated apartment building area. It's like 80% rental buildings. They're not condominiums, they're rental buildings.
Right.
So their laundry, some of them are government housing too, and their laundry rooms are not in good shape. The equipment is old. Some of them are in bad repair. Sometimes people leave their laundry in the machines and they look like they're being used, but they're not. So we have all of our baseline coin customers are definitely from the rental buildings. And then we have our wash and fold clients. And those ones, our favorite are the people that come in for bedding. They drop it off, and we do the comforters and the pillows. And sometimes their washing machine broke. They don't even use laundromats. They'll drop off their clothes, pay for wash and fold, and they're so thankful for this service. It saved them a couple hours. They're like, I'm so glad this service exists. So you need to be like a middle to high income earner to afford the wash and fold service typically.
And how do you charge?
We charge per pound.
Per pound?
Yeah, and I went out of my way to make sure we have the lowest price per pound in the neighborhood. So we're at $1.35 per pound. Market's $1.50 per pound, and then higher end or the place in Hamilton charges $1.85 per pound. So it fluctuates in between there. Sometimes I do promo for $1 per pound over 60 pounds. But this business is very if you're slow, you send out a promotion. They're very responsive to promotions. They'll go wherever the promo is to save $1, to save 25 cents a load. Like, very simple to appease your market with promos.
A lot of businesses, especially in the retail, they have, slow down days. They have certain days that they're just not busy. I think in the laundromat business, Tuesdays and Wednesdays seems to be the slow days. Are there any strategies that you do to maybe boost walk-in traffic of customers to come in on those days that are slow?
Yeah, we do Toonie Tuesdays.
Okay.
So our small machines, I bought the cheapest commercial machines we could find. They were $3,500 each. They're for single wash loads. So we do Toonie Tuesdays for those machines specifically. And then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I offer half off wash and fold, or not half off, sorry, a dollar per pound wash and fold over 25 pounds, so 25-pound minimum.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I e-blast our current list, and it attracts laundry for those days, for the slower days.
Every business has an economic downturn. Did you do any research to see if laundromats have a cyclical downturn too, or are they just no matter what's going on in recession, people still need to wash their clothes?
That's the beauty of this
or
business.
People, or are people maybe instead of washing them every week, they might go every 10 days or 2 weeks?
This business is basically recession proof.
Mm-hmm.
It's an essential service.
Yep.
It's pandemic proof. It's AI proof.
Mm-hmm.
And as the economy gets worse, there are people that have their own washing machine and dryer, but guess what? Their washing machine broke. How much is it going to cost for you to repair it? $200 for the guy to tell you it's wrong, $700 for parts. A brand new one's $2,000.
Mm-hmm.
People don't want to even pay. I have people come in all the time that just can't afford to buy a new one, can't afford to fix it.
Yeah.
So as the economy gets worse, there's people that have no choice but to use us. There's people that they have to wash their clothes. In the wintertime, they do come less frequently. So the previous owner told me it's also weather dependent. It's a little bit weather dependent. Sometimes they'll avoid a rainy day to come in on a sunnier day or snowstorms.
Okay.
But it's something that has to occur, and they only have so many clothes. You only have so many clothes. They can only get so dirty before you have to wash them. So
Sure.
it's not that you get less. They don't come less frequently. It just might be a different day. It's more weather dependent than trying to save a buck or two here and there.
So are you open 24 hours or do you have a certain
No.
time? Is it automatic lock? Like how to?
Automatic lock. We automatically open at 5 a.m.
Okay.
And unattended hours I'm okay with in the morning, but in the PM you want to avoid unattended hours. There were some essentially squatters or just people that believe that coin laundry is like a public service.
Mm-hmm.
And so because it was unattended, the previous owner wasn't around much. These people got used to coming in and hanging out and parking their belongings there for a while. So I've met some of those customers, but they aren't coming back anymore. Like they know that we're fully attended. It's not like it used to be. And I want to keep this place safe and clean for my customers, and those are the customers I want to attract. And yes, there are other laundromats in Mississauga, and you are more than welcome to wash your clothes anywhere else but mine.
So funny. My buddy who has the laundromats, we were sitting together and we were having a cigar, and it was getting close to 11 o'clock, and he goes onto his cameras and he's looking, and he goes, look, these three guys, they're here every night. I go, what are they doing? He goes, they're just hanging out. I says, so how do you get them out? He goes, by 11 o'clock, I shut the lights off. And when the lights go off, they leave. It was getting close. He hits a button, boom, the lights go out, they leave.
Really?
Yeah, he automatically, I started laughing.
I doubt the guys that I had in my place, they wouldn't have left
Shut
at
the
the
lights
They
off.
probably would have had a party.
But he could actually talk to them. He could actually, he has a system. He can actually voice out, he can talk to them and say, guys, this isn't a hangout. Yeah.
I did that, and guess what I got?
Really?
At the cameras.
Oh my God.
They didn't care. I'm like, well, I was intruding. It was their territory. They tried to claim it, but I served them with a trespass notice. I said, no, this is my laundromat now.
Yeah. What surprised you most since being a laundromat owner, since opening up?
How much I actually enjoy being there. And I know most people want it as a super passive thing, but I'm battling GTA rents.
Mm-hmm.
So I need to be there, and I need to build the wash and fold business. And it's not a beautiful business in the GTA as like passive runs itself. You just go collect coins. I don't see that as being a scenario in most coin laundromats in the GTA. I don't. Maybe in St. Catharines, Hamilton, Niagara region, potentially, maybe Windsor, most likely. But you also want brand. I want to be able to license Spin City brand because I feel like it would save a lot of new laundromat entrepreneurs the hassle of needing to brand and spend money on marketing. If they license the Spin City brand, then there's added value there. We already have brand repetition. I get 5-star reviews every week. The ads are constantly being created on a weekly basis. It could help it be a lot more passive for a new investor.
It sounds like you're spending a lot of time there because the laundromat is supposed to be a passive income where you're not spending a lot of time. How much time are you spending?
We're fully attended.
But how much time are you spending there?
Monday to Friday, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. I pick and choose my hours. I don't mind leaving it unattended during the daytime, but I don't want to miss those wash and fold customers or our dry cleaning customers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. What do you find has been your biggest challenge in being a laundromat owner?
I'm in a B plaza, so I'm not on the main road. So here, Ontario is the main closest street. So we're in a plaza right behind. It's beneficial because we have tons of parking, but visibility. And a lot of people obviously know we're there. It was a laundromat for 20 years before, but visibility's been the biggest challenge. So we're trying different advertising methods. And Mississauga's pretty strict on A-frames and street signage. I can't just go plop an A-frame out on here, Ontario. So I have to get a little bit more creative. With the weather getting better, I'm going to get a little bit more creative.
One of the things I got my buddy to do, and he loved it. It worked really well for him. Is direct marketing with a postal service. So you go to your local postal service and you scout an area. You say, I want this postal code, and you do a direct mailer, so they actually get it, like a nice little colored postcard.
We're doing that this week.
Yeah, and he said he had huge response from that.
Everyone has said that. The equipment guys helped me a lot. They give me a lot of information, and there's a laundromat on Lakeshore close by to me, and he said he had amazing success with direct mail.
Yeah.
So we're doing direct mail. It's expensive, but I'm also paying a fortune with Google Ads. That's the one thing in my budget, in my startup budget, I didn't allocate enough money for. I wasn't expecting to spend that much on Google Ads. So yeah, this month we're slowing down Google Ads and we're going to do direct mail.
Okay.
So we're going to switch and see how that goes. We get a lot of hits online, Google Ads, and it helps with the dry cleaning.
Okay.
I don't mind the Google Ads for the higher price point items. I think it makes more sense for higher ticket items for Google Ads. So dry cleaning is one of them.
So are you just taking the dry cleaning and you're sending it out to another company? You're farming it out?
This was a built-in contract that the previous owner had. The dry cleaner is right down the street from us. It's a walk. It's a 3-minute walk. But it's an immigrant family. They close at 7 p.m. They spend no money on advertising. And that's beautiful for me because I'm spending the money on the advertising. And my hours I'm open longer and I answer my phone. They don't even answer their phone. So I get to pick up all the business and then they give me 50% off. We charge the customer the same price. So I'm not charging more than or less. So
just a better service.
Just a better service. Yeah.
So for anyone listening to the show and says, hey, I'd like to get into the laundromat business as a side hustle or a passive income, what advice would you have for them, and how much capital would you say that they should have set aside to start something like this?
I would say it's semi-passive. The cleaning duties required to maintain the dryers and everything, it's a daily task. To keep your place clean, it's a daily task. I'd say startup capital, like minimum 350,000. Would be ideal. Is
that you're buying a business?
Yeah. You would be buying. I would suggest and recommend buying an existing one, but you have to negotiate. You have to make sure that you're not overpaying, and that's something challenging to do, especially with the way that they present their financials. You don't really know what you're buying, so you really have to love the location. You have to be able to negotiate a good deal. And yeah, I don't think you can really get into this business with less than 350. You can get creative with vendor financing. But at that price point, the seller is most likely looking to get their cash out and leave. I don't really see a seller in that price range wanting to negotiate a VTB.
There's a YouTuber, I believe it's Danny D'Angelo. Have you heard of him?
No.
He teaches people how to scout and find laundromats. This is and he teaches, my buddy did his course, and he's able to go out and actually sometimes pick up business for nothing, assume it.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe a good thing to maybe look at, listen to this guy. He's been able to acquire a couple places that were actually closed,
Yeah.
locked. They left, and he's like, "I'll take it over.
Where?
I'll sign a 15-year lease. Give me the business," and he just puts a new equipment in there,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So he didn't even have to buy. He just negotiated with the landlord. So that's what this guy Danny D'Angelo teaches. He's on YouTube. I've never watched him, but this is a guy that my buddy told me that he learned a lot from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I ran into one of those situations where the landlord locked out the owner.
For
But
probably
he was
non-payment of
not-
rent.
Yes, exactly. But he was so sour about the business. I think it had 2 previous owners in the last 10 years that he wouldn't even sign a new lease. So he just had to ride out the remaining, I think it was like 3 years, and he wouldn't renew. He said no laundromat business here.
Wow.
He wanted a stronger tenant. Yeah, it's all about location. It really depends on location.
Yeah. So here's a question. If you had to go back to your younger self, what financial advice would you give her that if what you knew today, you could tell her then?
I think it's really important not to rush into anything and overpay. Sometimes you just want to get the deal done and you might just overpay. What you pay for the business is going to be the most telling factor of when you're going to get into profitability and into a cash flow positive situation, which is what makes a good investment. So you really have to be a strong negotiator. You have to find the right deal, be patient, and find the right deal.
Now, I noticed on your Instagram, you published an ebook on analyzing laundromats.
I didn't publish it. I have it reserved
Oh, you have it reserved?
Yeah, for people that want to use me exclusively for
Okay.
representation.
Okay.
So I did build out a book. It has 9 chapters, and I have a template that breaks down the analysis. So basically, you want to be at a break-even point with your machines operating at 10% capacity. That's one of the main telling factors. You need to be able to operate profitably or break even at 10%. And then I have a price list. I went through all of the rigorous investigating for equipment. So the top 3 brands, I have all the prices broken down, and what to look for, and lease negotiations, all of that stuff. Yeah, lease
Amazing.
negotiations, very important. It's very hard to get a lease in GTA now too without the demo clause. The demo clause has killed a lot of laundry businesses. I know a guy, he owned a laundromat. He had like 120 machines in it.
Wow.
Huge, in Mississauga. There was a demo clause, all brand new equipment. There was a demo clause. They sold the plaza. He had to leave. So he bought another laundromat at Jane and Finch, and he had to move all the equipment over to that laundromat. He has tons of machines in storage, but that demo clause screwed him. You need a 15-year lease for a laundromat. It's very important to get a long lease, and you definitely don't want a demo clause.
So if someone is thinking about getting into a laundromat and is not sure how, and they want to reach out to you and maybe pick your brain or get a copy of this ebook, or if they're maybe looking for some commercial property or some multifamily, how can they find you?
I am the most accessible on Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Cheryl.lin.leon.
Okay.
Yeah, and my full name, my full legal name.
All
Or
right.
they can email me, CherylLeonRealtor@gmail.com.
Okay.
But on my Instagram profile, I have a Calendly link to book a call. I
right.
have like a call or 2 calls per week on the laundromat business. A lot of people are interested in it. So I love to talk about it, and I'm always open.
Well, there you have it, folks. I love passive income. I talk about it in my book, Wealth Without Wall Street, which is available on Amazon and in chapters in Indigo. If you like this show, please subscribe, hit that subscribe button, and share it with others. And please get in touch with Cheryl if you're thinking about getting into a side hustle in the laundromat business. That's all for today. Take care of your wealth and your health.